Hello everyone and welcome to GPVWC. This is Superleague Lights. Sorry that the broadcast is so late to start. We had a few technical difficulties, but we are here, we have a broadcast view and everything should be okay. So, we've just seen a qualifying session taking place. Martin Gosby has taken pole in the Blue Boss car, followed by Lucas Schmidt, often one of the front runners in this series, of course. Definitely keep an eye on him in second place, as well as Gosby leading from the lead. Third place, we have a Chaos Engineering car. That's Mark Hutchinson, followed by Matthew Williams, Chris Shepherd, Kian Waite, Chris Butcher, Martin Rybachuk, Lauren Kiersmakers, Matthew Klipp, Matt Richards, Jack Mayer, Ivan Leonov, Danny van der Neert, Callum Roberts, Danny Robbins, Pedro Mora, Tom Parker, Thomas Andriama Arasoa, oh, golly, sorry, just fiddling around with the controls a bit. Then it's going to be Johan Lindberg taking up 20th position, Jukka-Pekka Lalu taking up 21st, Kaz Reitveld taking up 22nd, then Mike Bell, James Early, Ben Horrell, who appears to have just come together with Early, and there's a car off the road there. Goodness me, well, I'll get back to that in a second and see who it was. And after Horrell, it's going to be Rano Muro there in the Cenobite car, followed by Matteo Kiersmakers. I take it related to Lauren, and actually Lauren's teammate, yeah, with the Holland Racing team. Then it's Hygo Poom, Mark Fuller, and Giuseppe Saracino, the 30 drivers that we have here today. Joining me in the commentary box is Menno Klunt. Thank you for joining me, Menno. Are you looking forward to it?
Hello, Caitlin. Yeah, this was a bit late to join, but we've now got a broadcast with 44 laps of this on this circuit in Suzuka. So that's very interesting. And yeah, we saw just a flip already in the warm-up lap. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like it was, I believe, some kind of leg issue or something. But now we've got somebody who's got some kind of problem.
It's Callum Roberts, and he'll be starting from the pits. So problems for Callum Roberts for the SCG team, and he's going to have a lot of ground to make up. He would have started 15th, but he's going to be starting significantly further back, I'm afraid to say.
Yeah, of course, that's a shame, but yeah, he's not out of it, and I think it will be a long race, so we will see what will happen. Well, the cars are now lining up, and the question will be, will Gosby be good off the line? Will Smith challenge him? What will Hutchinson do? I heard he was pretty quick. We will all see it. Last car is standing now, and we wait for the lights.
So, of course, we're going to have 5 red lights which are going to appear on that gantry above the drivers. And when they go out, we will be racing here with GPVWC and Superleague Lights. The tension is building. The revs are about to rise, and then we will be underway for 44 laps of racing here at the Suzuka circuit. It's a bit of a long hold. But,
yeah, it's a long hold, not that good for the engines, but normally it's a bit of waiting and then it automatically goes. Yeah, there we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and go. We're away. And who's got the best start? Gosby has a good start. It's P2 for Smith. And how will the first corners, how will they go? Because this is a tricky circuit. How will it go? It seems to be pretty clean. Is there a crash in the middle back? No, not yet, but we're close.
Had a slightly smoky engine further back, and it was this, I believe, 6th place. That'll be Chris Shepherd that we're watching now, going up the inside there of Kian Waite through the Dunlop curve and making it stick. His engine is fine now. He just needed to get a little bit of air through his radiator, going wide onto the grass, just as he did in the S's, but making it stick and making it through cleanly. So Chris Shepherd, currently in 5th position. Look behind as well, and that was Chris Butcher there on the soft tyre, taking a look at Kian Waite and trying to go through on the inside on the ultra soft tyre. Sorry, obviously my Screen just not quite loading in properly yet.
Oh,
Oh, and there's going to be
and the
slight
spin.
contact and around, and that is Martin Rybacuk. So Rybacuk there taking to the grass and rejoining right in front of a couple of other cars, getting mugged by Clip and Robbins there, and very nearly getting involved with them as well. That would have been a huge and very disappointing incident, and Rybacuk has lost a lot of ground in that one.
Yeah, but still came away from it. So after one lap, it's Gosby leading for Smith, Hutchinson and Williams in P4 and Shepard in P5. Do we've got somebody with damage? I don't believe there is a big damage. While we see Callum Roberts already in on last place, but he can see a lot of cars in front of him, so he is still close to all the other positions. And actually, Callum Roberts now overtakes Mark Fuller.
Indeed they do. It's a relatively clean start, as we often see. Sorry about the slight buffering there. I will sort that out instantly. There we go. Sorted. Easy peasy. But whatever the case, it's a relatively clean start, as we often see in Superleague Lights. This is a good field of drivers who know what they're doing as they stream through the middle part of the circuit. Still watching Rybacuk, who unfortunately dropped back quite considerably on that opening lap. Although if we look further up the order, we still have some drivers who are close at the front. This is Mark Hutchinson being chased down by Matthew Williams, who is currently in 4th position. Of course, Lucas Schmidt, our championship leader, is 2nd place on his return to the series, as he was not racing last time out at Singapore. And just to prove just how quick he's been so far this series, he's actually missed 2 races and is still leading this championship by 34 points. So he's going to take a lot of catching. But Matthew Williams, of course, is his main championship rival and is currently running in 4th position in this race. If he can make up some positions here and possibly challenge Williams, challenge Schmidt, while Schmidt is still behind Gosby, that could potentially reduce the gap.
Well, Williams currently posts the fastest lap, so he is quite racy and it looks pretty good. And now it will be interesting because next lap we will have DRS enabled. I think this circuit is pretty difficult to overtake, but everybody wants to be within a second. And for the leader Gosby, he wants to be out of that second. But for now, I think everybody in the top 5-6 is still within a second. Cian White is close to a second on Shepard still, so I think they will all get DRS, so it will be interesting where it breaks. I think it breaks now with Matthew Clip because he can't get on the back of Jack Mayer, and that will be hard for him if he doesn't have DRS to fend off Danny Robbins, while Martin Rybacuk is in P13, and we already saw a spin from him, and I believe the last lap some wheel banging. Let's see into the field.
Slightly wide, there goes Robbins. He hasn't got the best of runs onto the back straight, heading towards the 170R, very famous, very fast corner. Sorry, 130R. Or has to go slightly defensive. He saw that Rybacuk was in his mirrors. Just jinked out to say you're not getting through here. Although in doing so, he's compromised his run.
Williams lost DRS on Hutchinson. I think a mistake there, and he doesn't open his DRS, and now this can't work against him because now every lap they can use DRS and he not, or Matthew Williams needs to get closer in this lap to get DRS. But it was not that good to see that he was out DRS. It's not good for him, but of course he's still in P4 and race is still long. Well, it's mighty impressive to see all those cars through the Degner corners. That's such a fast right-hand corners, and all the cars lose a bit of grip going in there. But they're already getting so much grip back. Well, I hope we can get an onboard of Martin Rybacuk now, because he is very close to Danny Robbins, and you just feel he's going for overtake, or is at least trying. It's going for the inside. Oh, we'll be very close next to each other. Wheel banging again. Oh, and he's going off on the circuit.
Yeah, that
now he's taking some. A Robbins crash.
Oh no!
A crash. Oh, and one of the cars collected. It's Maura, but Maura's got damage. But what happened with Tony Robbins? Lost the front wing. Ooh, very lucky.
Yeah, looked to me
At
as
least for
if
Mara.
so they were side by side. Oh my word, three wide
Oh,
there on the straight. That was very, very close. But yeah,
that
they were
was
side
very
by
risky.
side going into Spoon Curve. It was an ambitious place to attempt a move, and you have to be over all the way alongside your opponent to make that stick, and he wasn't quite. But then on the exit, Danny Robbins
Ooh,
lost it all by himself, just getting over the curb and getting sideways and getting into that barrier, and he will, unfortunately for him, have to
yeah,
duck into the pits. So that is a shame for Danny Robbins, although he will continue in this race and try to salvage something in the form of points.
yeah, yeah. He will still be quite easily in the lead lap. So yeah, a new front wing, and we shall see what he what will happen with him. Of course, this is, I believe, his Superleague Lights debut, so I think he really wants to finish this race. But yeah, this is the first guy that actually has some damage. Now he's in P30, but let's see where he will end or where he will go to later in the session. Up to the front, it's Gosby still in one, Smith P2, Hutchinson P3, and they look to be on the same pace. I think Williams uh, closed up to Hutchinson, so there will be touch and go if they will have
Oh, Williams is
DRS.
off. Williams is off. He's over the grass and through into fourth
No,
place.
no, he's still there. He's still there.
Oh, that was White. No, no, I'm getting my drivers
Who was
confused.
that?
Who was that running off? Was it
Was that Butcher? Maybe.
Yeah, Chris Butcher. That is a red
Ah,
arrow, is correct. Yes, it
yeah.
is.
It was the
Sorry.
other red arrow car. I was
That's
I was
what got
actually
me.
seeing Williams going
Indeed,
wide at
yeah.
that as well.
That's what got me confused there. It's because I knew that White was close
Oh,
to the back
and
of.
something happened there. I think a crash between who's that? Ben Horrell in the air. Ben Horrell was in the air in a crash with Lindbergh, and there was quite a big hit. And Horrell stopped. The car stopped. Whoa, what happened there? I'm not sure if you can give us a replay, Caitlin, but I think that was
I
quite hard
I could, but it would
or
be
a
very
strange
messy, so
incident.
I don't think I should. I was going to say though, with Chris Butcher, it looked to me as if he was coming under heavy attack from Lauren Keersmakers, and
Yeah.
in his efforts to hold him off, just ran off the road at the chicane. And once you get onto that astroturf, you just have so much less grip than on tarmac because it's not designed for cars to run on it smoothly. And as a result, he just skated straight on and lost seventh position. So Butcher loses the place, and
Yeah.
through goes Lauren Keersmakers.
Yeah, getting back on that incident with Lindbergh and Horrell, it was such an incident that Lindbergh and Horrell both DNF'd. So this is not good for Team Stacks and Team TTF because they are not that high in the standings. I believe they're let's see, 12th and 14th in the standings. And now, they lost one of their cars already, so that's a shame. For them, and of course that to happen after 5 laps, that's just a bit of a shame because like me, Caitlin, some people test 100 laps or at least a lot more, but hundreds of laps, and to end it after 6 laps after a bit of a unfortunate incident, it's always sad. Oh well, I saw Gosby on the grass, and he feels all the pressure of Lucas Smith, I think, because Smith is closing. Hutchinson cannot really follow at the moment, but of course that can change very easily if when Smith and Gosby are going to battle. And Williams, is there as well. He doesn't seem to be super fast, but he can still follow. Well, yeah, number 5 is Chris Shepard. Yeah, there it's breaking there. Shepard does not have the pace of the top 4 runners. Let's see what this DRS zone will do. I think
Yeah,
Gosby is good ahead, and back to
well,
you, Caitlin.
Gosby and Hutchinson will both have the DRS here, as will Williams behind. So the top four, Gosby of course won't have the DRS, but the three behind him will. It's a relatively short DRS straight here compared to at other tracks, so that does make overtaking and following the car ahead rather difficult, which is why you have to be the smoothest driver. It's why you have to avoid making mistakes. Because if you think about it, the majority of place changes we've seen in this race so far have been through mistakes, and that's why it's so important to keep the car planted, to have it set up to your liking, and to just be consistent and smooth every time around. Strategy is also going to be very important later on. It's going to come into play, and that's what's going to keep this race exciting and unpredictable. So that's probably going to come at about the halfway point in the race. Of course, I believe that in Superleague Lights you do have to make a mandatory pit stop, much like you do in Super League. Yeah, Johnny.
I actually expect 2 pit stops. So I think in a lap or 7-8 we will see some people pitting. We'll also see pitting is Mark Fuller to do a nose cone change. He lost his nose, and now he's actually getting back on the track. We also had a pit stop of Mr. Randomuru in the Cenobite car, and let's see what he can do. It was an early stop, but maybe for him it was a smart stop to virtually jump some people when they are pitting. Well, we've got a yellow flag, Maura. Oh, Maura spun. Oh, and then a pretty dangerous rejoin, but I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, he spun with Vanderneet. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a shame, but Maura is driving, and I don't think Vanderneet lost a lot of time with that. So let's get back on the lead again. So your top 15, it's Gosby in P1, Lucas Smith in P2, with Mark Hutchinson in P3, with Matthew Williams in P4, Chris Shepard in P5, Sean White in P6 for Chaos Engineering, with Lawrence Kiersmakers in P7, Chris Butcher in 8, Matt Richards in P9 and P10 for Jack Mayer. Then 11th place now for Marcin Rebachuk, who's jumping a bit to the back of the other guys after having that spin in the early stages. Then we've got Matthew Klipp in P12, Danny van der Niet in P13, Kas Rietver in P14, and in P15 we've got Ivan Leonov. So that's our P15. And let me see. Everything at least looks to be fine now, so no major things happening.
Yeah, still the race continuing very much in the same order that we started, pretty much anyway, with the exception of a few little changes up and down the field. Of course, we saw Rivachuk losing a couple of places earlier on, and a little bit of scrapping in the early stages. But still, it's up to Schmidt and Hutchinson and Williams to just stick with Gosby as well as they can do, to see if they can gain advantage from the undercut from the strategies. Of course, we saw in Formula 1 the other day exactly how powerful the undercut can be sometimes, and I expect that we may well see that again today. And that presents an interesting dilemma for the leader of the race, of course, because on one hand, you want to stay out in front, and you want to benefit from the clean air and not risk dropping back into back markers. But on the other hand, you want to cover off your opponents. You want to pit earlier to prevent them from getting the undercut, of being on those fresh tires sooner. So it does create a very interesting dilemma for the leaders. Different people react to it in different ways, and there really is no one way to win a motor race, which is what keeps it so interesting. Well,
we've got our first pitter after 10 laps. It's Chris Shepard from P5. Yeah, he was struggling for the last half lap of grip, and so he was caught by one or two guys. So he's the first one to pit. So I think this is the pit thing opened now. The real pit stops, the planned pit stops are happening right about now, and I think now we will see a few more. Well, Shepard, where is he getting out? P18, so he loses a lot of positions from P5 up to P18, and now he's in traffic. That's not good for Chris Shepherd, but of course he has the fresher tires, and with the talent that Chris has, I think he can overtake with his car and the new tires. He can overtake a few.
And that's
So
exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about coming out in traffic and coming out in dirty air, because he is stuck behind Mike Bell, who is on much older tyres, and all the while he's there, he's going to be losing time because he will be faster than Mike Bell at this point in the race, with all due respect to Mike Bell, of course. But he just can't find a way through just yet, unless he can. He's on the grass, goodness me! That shows you just how desperate he is to get past Mike Bell's car quickly, but makes a mistake in doing so, and he's going to have to stick behind him for another lap, I expect.
yeah, he really wants to make his momentum work and move up
Oh
and
my
lose
goodness!
as little
Round the
time
outside into 130. That was very nicely done from Chris Shepherd. And his next target up ahead is Jukka-Pekka Lalu. He will hope that Lalu pits sooner rather than later. Into the pits there is that Matt Richards, I believe.
No, Rietveld.
Kaz Rietveld.
Rietveld is, yeah.
Yeah, indeed, Kaz Rietveld into the pits. As going for a move up ahead there, that would have been Callum Roberts. Sorry,
Yeah.
trying to pass James early. Bit of cheating on my part there, but anyway.
So let's see if we got some people who are close to a pit stop, or people that lose a lot of time.
Yeah, just going to the head of the field again, because I'm expecting that.
I think Williams will come in because he's losing a lot of time this lap. He's I believe 1 second up on his current time, so hopefully we can follow him, because I'm pretty sure he will get into the pit, Matthew Williams. And I wonder for him if he will get out in the traffic or not. The top 3 is not pitting, but Matthew Williams is pitting. And also in is Cian White, and let's see, the rest is pitting. No, the rest is at least going on. Williams is only standing now, so he will lose a lot of time. Let's see, Tom Parker is out, and Danny Roberts are out, so the whole team of Satellite unfortunately is out.
Yeah, that's a big shame for Satellite. Satellite, of course, needed points in this championship because they're not having a great time of it in the championship at the minute. They're actually right at the bottom, although equal with TTF Racing. Both teams there have 36 points, and both want as many points as they can get in that championship fight. So disappointment for Satellite, whose best result this series has been a 7th place finish achieved by, of course, Sven de Vries, who isn't one of their drivers today, a couple of rounds ago. Both of those drivers out, but still we have plenty of drivers remaining in this race and duking it out for the positions further up. It looks to me, Menno, as if your 2-stop strategy call is absolutely right, and I wasn't expecting that since Superleague Lights races. As Schmidt into the pits comes Schmidt and Mark Hutchinson from 3rd place.
Interesting, because Gosby I think will go 1 lap later, but he will not have the tire grip Smith and Hutchinson will have. Let's see what will happen here.
Yeah, I was going to say...
in as well? Yeah.
Superleague Lights races, of course, are shorter than Superleague races. Not by that much, but still they are. And that means I wasn't quite expecting a 2-stopper, but it definitely seems to be the preferred strategy today, as Schmidt comes out in traffic behind Matthew Klipp.
So, this is very interesting. I think this will play into the hands of Martin Gosby, because Smith cannot drive his full potential because there is a clip in the way, if I can say it like that. But we shall see what will happen now. Will he come in right away or not? Well, I see yellow flag at the Digners, but I'm not sure why.
It will affect Gosby, it will help Gosby, but only if he's not losing too much time on those older tyres. Yeah. So that's where the balance comes into play, because... sorry?
we've got a crasher. We've got Hygo Poom standing there in the final in the 130R, and I think Poom is done for. Yeah, that's actually the sound what the car makes when it hits the wall. Poom. But yeah,
That is an
let's not make
overused
too much
joke,
jokes
Meadow.
about it. But yeah. MDR wanted to make me to make jokes about it, so I guess this will be on replay in the MDR chat. Well, it's of course is unfortunate for Hygo Poom because he has some very good results. Let's be honest, and yeah, it's not happening for him now.
I tell you what,
Well,
something I have noticed.
Cosby is already out. Let's see where Cosby comes out in relation of Smith. He is easily ahead, and Smith can't overtake Clip, and Clip is allowed to defend, and now Hutchinson gets close, and Williams is catching up to Smith as well. So that is pretty interesting. Well, we now actually see more or less everybody in the pits the last 1.5 lap, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, Mano, a lot of interesting things going on at the minute, including Matthew Richards losing a lot of time. Gosby just absolutely swept past him with almost no time lost whatsoever. And Richards is actually under attack from Jack Mayer, who is on the same tyres as him. It just seems that Mayer has managed to make those tyres last for longer. So Richards probably should have pitted last time around, but then again, what do I know? He's a better driver than I will ever be. But another really interesting thing that I was going to point out is that Kian White has lost a lot of time in the pit stages, and I don't exactly know why, but he is down in 14th position whilst Gosby is leading the race. So Kian White, who came in from 5th position, is a long way down the order, even compared to the other drivers who stopped around him, and I think there may have been a mistake there, as Richard surely will dive into the pits this time round, which he does do.
But look at that. So after the pit stops, Gosby, I think, gained about 2 to 3 seconds on Smith, and I think that was only because Lucas Smith couldn't drive the full potential of his car because he had traffic. So it's so important to not get into traffic, and this gives Martin Gosby a bit of air. But of course, the race is still long, and Lucas Smith knows everything from this car, more from A to Z, like from how the tire life is on every tire. So I think he can still mount a challenge. But for now, the pit stop was really good planned from Gosby. A bit lucky there, and. Matthew Clip helped him a lot, and of course he's allowed to do that. While we still have got Jack Mayer in P2 with a long first stop, we should tell you that Jack Mayer got 3rd position out of Singapore after the penalties. We saw Marcin Rabachuk lose P3 and went to P4, and Jack Mayer got the P3 in Singapore. He was really happy with it, and now again he's in P3, but not making a pit stop. So that makes me think, Caitlin. I think Jack wants to do one pit stop less than everybody. What do you think?
He is going for a very, very long stint here, and I'm definitely thinking that he could possibly do a one-stop from here. We've actually just had a change for second place. Of course, Mayer was in second, but Schmidt swept past him on fresher tyres, as we expected to happen. That shows that the ultra-soft tyres, which are theoretically faster, are just too old to be competitive at this point in time. But if he can make this stint last for that long, he will effectively still be in the position that he is in now. It all depends on how many positions he can hold, I suppose, before that time. He's got Matthew Williams right under his rear wing, and Williams looks as if he's going to sweep through relatively easily, possibly going towards Spoon. There we go, makes the move stick. Mayer couldn't really defend on those older tyres, and he's now got a fast approaching Matthew Clip and Mark Hutchinson.
Well, I'm currently looking what happened with Cian White. and I'm going back to that. He spun on high speed on the 130R. I'm seeing. He
Oh,
was close to Thomas Adria Marissa, and just hit his front. It was a bit of an unfortunate incident while we saw where we saw him going on the grass, and as a result of that, I'm also seeing a Hygo Poom crash happening with who was that?
it was
Pedro
Pedro
Mora.
Mora, and
Yeah,
actually, there's a couple of disgruntled drivers in the YouTube chat currently. Tom Parker says that he was hit, and also Hygo Poom blames Pedro Mora for his accident. So of course, we're going to have a
yeah,
steward's inquiry for that, and
yeah. We've got the stewards for that, of course.
totally.
Every driver has his vision, and some instances are more clear than others. But yeah, we've got the disciplinary committee that looks into that, and then looks what a driver could have done to prevent it, and if a driver is at fault, and a driver possibly gets a punishment. So we'll see more about that later. Now I'm wondering, with Gosby in Spit 9 in P1 and P2, what's the current lap time of Gosby in relation to Lucas Smith?
Well,
Let's
Schmidt
see.
has just set the fastest lap of the race last time around. Very, very fast. And it looks to me as if he may set another quick one here as
Yeah,
well. So Schmidt is
he's
flying, and
0.2.
indeed, so the last 2 laps, he's actually gained half a second in total over
Yeah,
Matthew Schmidt. Martin Gosby. I don't know where I got the name Matthew Schmidt from. Martin Gosby. Whereas behind him, also charging, is Matthew Hutchinson, who's just made his way past Jack Mayer for 4th position, and he's just set the fastest first and third sectors of anyone. Probably would have set a new fastest lap,
yeah.
although had to pass Jack Mayer in the middle sector. And I've also noticed that another driver trying to go for the one-stop strategy is Matthew Clipp, who is currently chasing down Jack Mayer. He has also not stopped, and I'm not sure whether Roberts or Rybachuk have stopped either, because they started on the yellow wall tyre.
Yeah, I think Roberts didn't stop because he was starting from pits, so I think they want to go long. I also saw that Giuseppe Saracino just jumped out of the race with what looked internet problem. I talked with Mr. Saracino earlier today, and he said to me he was fearing his internet. So it was a bit a shame that actually an internet problem forced him out. Unfortunately, so we've got one less. So we now have got, I believe, 24 drivers still driving, more or less. Let's see.
Yeah,
How long
Saracino's still in the race on my screen, although I haven't been. Oh no, he has just lost the place to Mark Fuller, so I think we do have problems for Giuseppe Saracino, which is a shame. Meanwhile, still first laps continuing to come in at the front, although Schmidt's last lap was actually 0.2 of a second slower than Gosby's. And the fastest driver on track at the minute is Mark Hutchinson in 4th place, trying to catch up to Matthew Williams. He's very nearly in DRS range. In fact, after those first sectors, I expect he will be in DRS range. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that. He's very, very close now to the back of Matthew Williams, and absolutely flying. Almost a second a lap faster than Matthew Williams at this point in time.
I see Matthew Williams with a very high ping at the moment, going into spoon with Hutchinson close. This is of course not good if you've got a high ping, and now the ping of Matthew Williams is more than normal. We're now approaching the 130R, and now we're in the 130R, and look at Hutchinson being very close, and he sees, I believe, Matthew Williams warping as well. But what can Mark Hutchinson do? Can he open DRS and blast past Williams? No, not yet. Let's see, what's the lap? 30.2. It's a very bad lap from Williams as well. I think there are problems with on board with Williams as well. So hopefully he can fix it while driving. This is not the kind of circuit, the type of circuit where you want to have problems, where you can try to solve it while driving the first sector. But
Meanwhile, into the pits at last come Clip and Mayer for what they hope will be their only pit stop of the race. They've gone onto the red-walled rubber and will hope to run it to the end. It's definitely possible unless they have some sort of incident. I say touching wood, hashtag not superstitious. Anyway, 3 cars in a chain just up ahead. This is Callum Roberts fighting Matthew Richards and Danny Van der Neer, and that of course is because Roberts is yet to stop on that yellow walled rubber. So not only does he have statistically the slowest tyres in the race, he also has the oldest tyres in the race as well. And you see just how much more grip on the braking there Matt Richards is able to get, and through as well goes Callum Roberts, very nearly.
And true for P3 is also Hutchinson, who did the overtake in the 130R on Matthew Williams. So then you've got pretty big, you know what, but to do it like that. And but now Williams is trying to overtake him. So around the outside with more speed. Williams, can you overtake him? Still next to Hutchinson. Oh, very close, but Hutchinson now takes the place. The question now is, can Williams stay close to try it at the next DRS? So
up the hill around the Dunlop curve, and it looks to me as if Hutchinson is getting away. We saw that his pace was undeniably fast. He was blisteringly quick on those tyres. No pun intended. As for the tyre where he might incur from doing so, but anyway, he's now got past Matthew Williams. And just needs to stretch his legs for as long as he can. He knows that he's still got 1 pit stop to make in this race, so I suppose he might as well go for it if he feels that he can run to the end of the race after his next stop. He's just got to push as hard as he can in this stint to get away from Williams. If his fuel load allows that, of course. You do still have to make sure you can get to the end of the race okay. But Hutchinson will know what he's doing. He's an experienced driver. He races for one of the oldest teams in GPWC as well, Chaos Engineering, formerly known as Eidos Motorsport, which is currently holding 3rd place, and the other Chaos Engineering car is running in 8th with Cian Waite behind the wheel. And Waite's on a bit of a recovery drive here, back up to 8th after dropping down further earlier on in the race. And his next target will be Chris Butcher further up. However, that's going to be difficult since the Red Arrow car, which we're looking at right now, although this is Butcher's teammate Williams, is theoretically the fastest car in the field according to development.
Yeah, but for some reason it's not really happening for Williams. He's struggling a bit, unfortunately, and Hutchinson just drives away from him. So. We shall see what the strategy will do, but for now, I think 4th place looks the maximum for Williams at the moment. But of course, a lot can change. We're now halfway the race with 22 laps, nearly 23 laps completed. So we will now give you the top 15 positions, which is Martin Gosby in P1, with Lucas Smith in P2, Mark Hutchinson in P3, with Matthew Williams in P4, Chris Shepard in P5, Laurent Keersmakers in P6, with Chris Butcher in P7, Cian Waite in P8, with Marcin Wrebachuk now in P9, with P10 for Matt Richards, P11 for Danny Van der Neer, P12 is a good battle now between Callum Roberts and Jack Mayer, with which Roberts now has P12 and Mayer P13. P14 is for Yuka-Pekka Lalu in the second of the Netrex cars, and P15, the last point position now, is for Ivan Leonov. And we're not done, so a lot can still happen.
Mayer goes to the inside of Roberts and pulls through. Roberts still dropping back on those softer tyres. He wants to run it as long as he can.
See and White has a crash. White in P8 from Chaos Engineering lost it in. I'm not sure which corner that was. I believe that was the Dunlop. What happened there? Let's look back.
Yeah, it was the Dunlop curve, and he's lost his front wing, and he's going to be dropping a long way down the order. Of course, White had a big spin at 130R earlier on. And now he's obviously had another incident, and that is going to cost him a lot of time and a lot of positions in this race. He's currently P11, but he will drop back further potentially, and probably out of the points.
Yeah, this is very bad because he needs to go a long way before he's into the pits. So he will get out of the top 15. Let's see if he can fight back. But it's a shame because it was a pretty innocent spin. But yeah, if there is a wall, then it will not help you there. And he lost his front wing. And hopefully he can get back and fight for at least points position. But this is a bit of a shame because I know Chaos Engineering is battling with TR Bluefoss for the fourth in the constructors, and this is not good for them. And it's really a shame. So let's see where they will come out. And we also see Callum Roberts in, and I think Callum Roberts went one or two laps too far on the set of tyres, and I think there was a bit too much, and he lost a lot in the last few laps. So Cian White is now driving out of the pits, and I think I will go to P23. He will go to last, and this will be a long 20 laps. I'm not sure if he can get into a points position. Let's hope for him he can, but we shall see.
So I think Roberts was trying to potentially run it as long as he could to go onto the ultra soft set of tyres, and then realised that it wasn't going to work. Although that may still end up working out for him, we'll have to see. He's currently in 20th position. Also into the pits that last time around was Chris Shepherd. So Shepherd made his scheduled stop, and he is now exited in 11th position behind Jack Mayer there. And Shepherd's another driver who would have expected more from this race. Mayer, of course, is not intending to pit again. And I tell you what, if Mayer's got out ahead of Shepherd there, Mayer could be on for a really, really good finishing position. Of course, he does have a disadvantage in comparison to Shepherd, because Shepherd is on those newer tyres. And as a result, he's probably going to be catching him a little bit at this point in the race. However, I believe that Shepherd is on yellow wall tyres. Yes, he is. And I wasn't expecting that because he pitted relatively late in the race to be going on to yellow wall tyres. I expect it's probably because he's done red wall tyres for both of the first two stints, and he thinks that it's too long to go on ultra softs.
Yeah. So very interesting strategy for him. And let's see what will happen with the front runners now, because are they already pitting or are they waiting? No, not a pitting for Gosby. Let's see what Lucas is doing. No pitting for him. And what about Mr. Hutchinson? No pitting for him. And he has gained a lot of push time on Williams. Let's see what's the current time. Yeah, Williams is 7/10 slower than Hutchinson at the moment. So it seems to be, the car is not working, or there is some damage at Matthew Williams, because we know he can be much quicker. And for now, it doesn't work. The car is not working for him at the moment.
Shepherd has just swept past Jack Mayer, so that's for 10th place in the race at the minute, although we still have some drivers ahead of them yet to make their final pit stop. But definitely a change in the order between Shepherd and Mayer. Mayer looking all over the back of him, although I think that is going to be it for now, because of course Shepherd has those newer tyres, and I think also potentially a theoretically better car. Yeah, I've just checked that, and I think it is probably a better car. Shepherd racing, of course, for Stax Racing, which does indeed have very slightly more development points than the MDR squad. MDR, however, has upgraded rear wing downforce and Stax hasn't, so potentially Mayer's car being a little bit more planted than Mayer's. Although Mayer's car, although Shepard's car significantly lighter than Mayer, if I'm not very much mistaken, and also has significantly less drag as well.
And let's see, we're now on lap 27. And what's the gap between our current race leader, Gosby, and Smith? It's now 4.7 seconds, so let's see the last few laps.
Yeah, that gap's actually been coming out in the last few laps. It was coming in earlier, but now Gosby is approximately 0.4 per second per lap faster than Williams. Who are we looking at here? That's Martin Rybachuk, just ahead of Matthew Williams. That's a very close fight on track. And I think, Matt Richards. And I think that Richards is going to be gaining on him at this point in time. Into the pits further back, Kaz Rietveld and even Leonov, both dropping out of the points paying positions. Although, as I've said before, still some of the drivers ahead of them are yet to make their pit stops. So it's unpredictable until potentially the last 10 or so laps of the race.
Yeah. We now have CN White in P20, so that's very interesting because he's still on the move. He's doing a pretty fast lap, so I hope for seeing he can get into the points at the end of the race. But I'm not sure if he will make that. Let's hope so. That it will happen for him. We've got a very close fight on 4P7. It's Martin Rybachuk and Matt Richards. And Matt Richards looks much faster. Oh, look at Martin Rybachuk's rear tires. He's got a lot of sliding. And now we've got Matt Richards on board. Yeah, he's got DRS open. This should be an overtake. And can he do it? Matt Richards, yes, he takes P7 from Martin Rybachuk. So Matt Richards in P7 for Craig. So that's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm afraid I can't give you any onboard cameras during this race because I was not able to set that up. But anyway, still Matt Richards pulling through into 7th position ahead of Martin Rybachuk.
Yeah.
Who is now down in 8th position in the TR Bluvos car. I say down in 8th position, that's better than I could ever hope to achieve, so he's doing a very good job there. In terms of the championship, Rybachuk is currently 8th in that as well. Sorry?
We've got our P3 runner, Mr. Hutchinson, in for his second stop. So he is clearly looking to defend that 3rd position, and he is in now. We lost Thomas Adriamarisoa. I'm not sure why, but we lost him unfortunately. Let's see, getting back on Hutchinson where he comes out. He will get clear air out in P6, so that looks pretty good. I think this pit stop was all to defend 3rd position, and I think this opens the second pit stop window for a lot of guys. So I think we will see a lot of guys now pit in the upcoming 2-3 laps. So we shall see.
In terms of the championship, Lucas Schmidt still leads by 34 points. I'm not quite sure how it's going to affect it, how it's standing currently, if they finish how it's standing currently, although I know that Schmidt will extend his championship lead. Lauren Kiersmakers is still 3rd in the championship, followed by Mark Hutchinson, who would probably be much further up if he'd made the first 4 races of the season. Bastian Peister is 5th, followed by Matthew Klipp, Jack Mayer, Martin Rybachuk, then Chris Butcher and Pedro Mora round out the top 10, although I'm also interested in our current race leader Martin Gosby, who is currently 14th in the championship, doesn't have a good finishing record in this series so far, but in the 2 out of 4 races that he has finished, so 50%, he's been on the podium both times, and actually won last time out at Singapore. So we know that when Gosby finishes, he finishes well. As into the pits, meanwhile, come Butcher, Keersmakers, Williams, and Schmidt.
Oh, and nearly a crash between Keersmakers and Williams in the pit, because Williams was going to drive away from his grid slot or pit slot, and there was Keersmakers was going there, but they didn't touch, but it was pretty close. So that's interesting. Even in the pits, they try everything not to lose too much time, and that nearly went wrong. But luckily, it didn't. Would have been sad to see that, but it didn't happen. So let's see. A lot of people pitting now. So I think it will now be Mr. Martin Gosby in the pits for his second pit stop now. And yeah, let's see. Will he go now? Yeah, he will go now. So in for his second pit stop, it's Martin Gosby.
So let's keep an eye on the gap. There was about 4.7 seconds separating them before the pit stop stages. Although pit stops can really affect the times and the order quite significantly due to how cautious you are on pit exit, due to how long your actual stop takes, and due to where you come out of the pits. And you see, actually, I reckon that gap's come out. If you look at the gap there, you could see visually that it's really quite significant. And I wonder exactly what it's going to be through the next speed trap. I estimate probably about 7 or 8 seconds, maybe.
I think more or less 5.5. But it seems to be it was a very good stop from the TR crew, but yeah, of course, we're not there. Let's see, on tires, they both are on the fastest tire, so that's the purple tire.
They are indeed. They managed to run far enough into the race to go into those purple tyres. Meanwhile, Lucas Schmidt sets the fastest first sector of the race, so we know that Schmidt is pushing to try to catch up again to the back of Gosby. He knows that he can't rely on pit stops anymore because we are in the late stage of the race. No more pit stops for either of them if all goes to plan. And as a result, if he's going to make a move, he's going to have to do it on track. So Lucas Schmidt needs to push, but I have a feeling that he may well be too far back because we've only got 12 laps remaining in this race, and Gosby himself is also pushing, setting the fastest second sector of the race so far, which Schmidt has just beaten. So Schmidt may be on for a full purple lap here if he can pull it off, as meanwhile we take a look at the slipstream chain of Shepherd ahead of Keersmakers and then Butcher. It's almost a three-way scrap as Keersmakers takes a look at 6th place heading down the straight. Shepherd, of course, is on the yellow tyres, and indeed Schmidt did set a full purple lap that last time around, 127.881. That is absolutely fantastic, as Matthew Williams now sets the fastest third sector. And look at Keersmakers taking a look at Shepherd with the DRS, goes around the outside into turn 1 and claims 6th position. Shepherd may be regretting not being able to run far enough into the race to go onto those ultra soft tires.
Meanwhile, I think Martin Gosby now is on his first flying lap after the pit stop, and let's see if he can do something on the fastest lap of Smith. But for now, it's really game on between numbers 1 and 2. It's really cool battle to see, and actually now in P3 it's Mark Hutchinson, so he pitted, I believe, the first of all the top guys, and now is pretty easily gone back in P3. So I think for him it's P3 managing now, and if nothing happens between the top two, I think this is what he will get, and another podium will be good for that team, of course. Let's see. But Gosby now crosses the line, but he didn't get the fastest race lap. That's still from Lucas Smith, but he was pretty close to it. So it's really game on.
Meanwhile, Chris Butcher had a big slide chasing down Chris Shepherd. Got very twitchy into the chicane, but he is going to have an excellent run onto the start-finish straight with the DRS wide open. And I'm not sure that Chris Shepherd is going to have any answer to this. He's going to try to hold it on the outside, and it looks to me as if he's going to do a pretty good job of it as well. And he does. He keeps the inside line for the S's, and it looks to me as if Butcher may have the better run, but not quite be able to do anything with it. It's the battle of the Chris's, and Chris Shepherd putting up a fantastic defence there through turn 1. It's going to be a real tough ask of him to keep that position for the next 10 laps, but at least he's having fun holding off Chris Butcher, who is trying to go through for all his might. And actually, I take back what I just said, because of course this isn't just for fun, and it was quite rude of me to imply so, because of course the longer Shepherd keeps Butcher behind him, the less time Butcher's going to have to get up the road, and that may end up being important if Butcher's tyres start to go off towards the end of the race. Shepherd may be able to take him back again, and Butcher still trying to get past Chris Shepherd using the slipstream.
Very interesting. Can he get him now, Butcher? Butcher should have him now with DRS, I would say. Let's see. There he comes. Yeah, he now moves ahead of Shepherd. Well, we've got a battle just in front of that. It's Kiersmakers who gets P5 away from Rybachuk. So now it's Kiersmakers, Laurent Kiersmakers in P5, Marcin Rybachuk in P6, Chris Butcher in P7, and Chris Shepherd in P8, with Jack Mayer in P9 and Matt Clip now in P10. I'm going to look where is Cian White. Cian White is now in P17, and he can still see P13 driving. So there might be still some points for that team, or for him on the board. It's very close battle which Cian White now has with even Leonov, and actually hits his rear, but I believe not a lot of damage on the front wing of Cian White. So you see everywhere in the on the grid, and everywhere between P1 and P5 and P10 and P18, everybody is battling really hard, and it's of course really good to see, because you know that everybody is really competitive.
Bit more contact there. Leonov holds it steady, although it looked to me as if he might get tipped sideways. Looks to me as if White is possibly getting a little bit impatient behind Leonov, but you can't really blame him, since we are getting into the final stages of the race, and he needs to get past Leonov to have a chance of scoring points. He slipstreams him up the straight before 130R, goes to the outside as they go over the bridge. Round the outside of 130R, that is a Fernando Alonso style maneuver.
Oh,
goodness me! Leonov takes a look back to the inside, doesn't quite make it stick. But what a move from Cian White! Flick my hat off and call me Clarence. That was brilliant.
Okay, Clarence. Well, yeah. Well, that was a pretty a good move. Of course, an awesome move actually. But you need to have a good defender in Ivan Leonov as well, to at least make the overtake of that possible as well, because he was really fair in that as well, and he actually tried to overtake him back. But that was really good close stuff from both drivers. And we still have 8 laps to go.
Yeah, Chris Butcher's just managed to get past Rybachuk for 6th as well, so Butcher's finally managed to make it stick. And now he's possibly going to go after Lauren Kiersmakers. But there's really not that much time left in the race, just 6 full more laps I expect at the end of this one. And then we will be seeing the checkered flag wave, and that will be chance gone, chance over. And your result will be unofficially sealed. Of course, we will still have things such as steward inquiries and race director stuff. But anyway, it'll be more or less sealed as far as the drivers are concerned. And that's why they need to pull it before then, which pretty much goes without saying now that I think about it. But anyway.
That's very interesting in the driver standings as well, because I believe after this round we only got how many rounds have we got left? I believe 2 after this one, right?
I believe so. Let me just double check that. But yeah, we're definitely getting towards the end of the championship. Sorry, and of course, if they finish like this,
Schmidt will go to 261. And then Matthew Williams, who is the only one that can keep him from the title, is now on 207 points. And in the 4th place, he will go to 220. So then the gap would be 41 points. And it means with 2 rounds to go that the maximum you can get if you win both races is 50. So that would mean there's no title as of now for Lucas Smith, but of course, we've got 2 more races.
Yeah, Shepard's just pulled a move on Rybachuk. One thing that I didn't remember to mention earlier is that Lucas Schmidt can mathematically wrap up the championship today. It's unlikely that he's going to, especially since Williams is scoring decent points in 4th position, and the difference between 2nd and 4th position, I'm just going to look that up now. I think there's 35 or 34 points between them in the championship currently. I'll get back to you on that one when my site loads, but.
Yeah, with 6 laps to go, let's give you the full results of all the runners. So we've got Martin Gosby in P1, starting lap 38 right about now. Lucas Smith in P2, with Mark Hutchinson in P3, with Matthew Williams in P4, with Lauren Keersmakers in P5. Chris Butcher, I think Chris Butcher is on the move. He's pretty fast now in P6. Chris Shepard in P7. P8 for Marcin Rybachuk, P9 for Jack Mayer. Again, a good result for Jack Mayer. I think top 10 is always good in this field. Matt Richards in P10, Matthew Klipp in P11, then even underneath in P12, Jukka-Pekka Lalo in P13, James Early in P14, even Leonov in P15, Kars Rippold in P16, P17 is for Mike Bell. And Matteo Keersmakers in P18, and I think that's it. And now I saw there was something happening with, I think it was Ian White.
Yeah, also still in the race is Mark Fuller, although he's running a little way further down. And I'm afraid Cian White and Callum Roberts both appear to be out of the race. So has there been contact between White and Roberts? Yeah. I'm afraid you're going to have to look back at that minnow. But yeah, they are both out of the race, and that's a huge shame, especially for Cian White, who was a contender for a top 5, possibly even a podium earlier in this race, and he's dropped out.
Yeah. Let's see what happened there, because it was a shame, because he was nearly into the points in what would have been good if he scored some points, of course, but it was not to be. Oh, what happened there? And let's see. It looks like it was. Oh, it's a shame. It looked like Cian White got hit by a leg spike from Colin Roberts' car,
no.
And he landed on a party tent, more or less. Yeah, that sounds very funny, but it just went over the wall, and yeah, that was a very big incident, and that forced the car out. It's a shame for him, and also from Callum Roberts, because it was not his intention, of course. Just the internet did that, so it's a big shame for Cian. It's just unfortunate for him, because he looks so good, but this race was not for him, I'm afraid.
Meanwhile, a close fight going on between Danny van der Neert and Matthew Klipp there. Van der Neert just managed to get past Klipp going towards the chicane. Klipp tried to come back at him in a straight line, didn't quite manage to make it stick, and that is over 11th position. So it looks to me as if Van der Neer might get that and start to accelerate up the road. He's a little bit too far back from Matt Richards, I think, unless something dramatic happens in the remainder of this race. Also, Shepard and Rybacek are maintaining much closer than I thought they would be at this point in time in 7th and 8th positions. They're separated by just 0.6 of a second, and Shepard there really going defensive, pulling over to try to break the toe of Martin's car. Obviously not wanting to give him any aid down the straight.
Well, something, what was nearly happening, our leader Martin Gosby made a mistake and nearly went into the wall just before the 130R. At least on my screen it appeared so, but he saved it. It was, I think, one tiny moment of not doing that well, and he nearly lost it just before the 130R. And with 4 laps to go, you need to stay sharp, Mr. Gosby, otherwise. You will not win this race, and that was nearly a big mistake. At least on my screen, I think it happened. It was not a lag on my screen. I think he nearly made a mistake, but he's still in it.
Great move from Martin Rybacek to get back up into 7th position ahead of Chris Shepard. Shepard would not have been expecting that, but Rybacek has managed to pull it off and make it stick. Well done to him. Now he's just got 3 laps left, to hold that before the end of this race. Also a close fight is Kaz Reitveld trying to get past James Early to get into the points paying positions in P15, because of course in Superleague Lights and in all of the Superleague series, in fact, the points go down to 15th position rather than 10th as in Formula 1, except of course in the Academy series where there is actually no point scoring system. But at any rate, this is Superleague Lights. Points go down to 15th. Chris Shepard trying to go back to the inside of Martin Rybacek. I don't think it was a fully fledged attack there, but of course the more pressure you put on your opponent, the more distracted they're going to be, the more likely they are going to be to make a mistake, and through goes Shepard on the inside. Great move.
Went very deep into the first corner, but he makes it and now gets P7 back, and that was pretty good, because I think the tires of Shepard are also nearly at its end. But for now he overtakes Marcin Rybacek for P8, and that would be very good points for Team Stax, who had a bit of a slow start of the season, but the end of the season looks much better. And actually the points they will get from this race will help them a lot, because P7, that will mean would mean 9 points at the end of this race, and would be very good for this team. While the leader starts lap 42, so that's 2 laps to go. And Lucas Smith, our P2 driver, is now 6 seconds behind, and it looks like 6 seconds is much, but it's not that much in after a long race. So he's still, I don't want to say pretty close, but he's still there, and Gosby needs to be focused.
A move has just occurred for P9 as well. Matt Richards has got past Jack Mayer, so change is happening even this late in the race. Mayer getting back with the run, with the slipstream to the outside, almost onto the grass, but drops back, and he's now got a hard charging, that's a lap car on his tail there, so he doesn't have to worry about that one.
But Danny van der Niet is also battling for the P10, and I fear Jack Mayer has no tire life left, while I think Danny van der Niet has tire life left, so it will be interesting if he can get that P10 from Jack Mayer. We only got 1.5 laps, but Danny van der Niet looks to be a lot quicker at the moment, so maybe he can steal that final top 10 position away.
Yeah, but you have to remember that yellow car there is not Van der Neer. Van der Neer is actually a whole corner back at the Dunlop curve. So Van der Neer is not going to claim that place unless something dramatic happens. But still, if there's one mistake from Matt Richards, Jack Mayer could get him back. It doesn't look like he's going to, because Richards is getting away into the distance. How's the fight between the two drivers on softer tyres going as Martin Gosby starts the final lap of the race? Don't worry, I will catch him as he crosses the finish line. But we've got Shepard and Rybacek fighting to the line, it seems. They're separated by just under half a second, so Rybacek will definitely get the DRS as they head across the start-finish line once again. And in fact, Martin Gosby isn't lifting off. This is the final lap of the race, and yet he has set the fastest first sector of anyone. Whoa, Rybacek getting sideways! Looked to me as if he was going to have a look up the inside, but that was just too opportunistic. Got sideways. I don't think he was intending to go for a move at all, and that may be his last chance of getting past Chris Shepard gone, as he's going to lose a lot of momentum here.
Well, we now have got Martin Gosby into the 130R. This will be his second win of the season. Breaks into the last corner. He is trying very hard to get that last lap, and now he's accelerating out of the last corner. And he's getting his second win of the season, a third win for TR Bluefoss. Martin Gosby wins.
And sets fastest lap on the final lap. Yes. That is absolutely fantastic.
Lucas Smith, P2, another podium for Lucas Smith. He is Mr. Consistency. And Mark Hutchinson, P3 for Chaos Engineering. Well done, Mark. Well done. Deserved, fully deserved. With Mr. Matthew Williams now in P4. Let's see, do we have any battles? It's Lauren Keesmakers in P5, Chris Butcher in P6. Chris Shepard won the battle between him and Marcin Rybacek. And Danny van der Niet is very close, I think, to Mayer now. He's not super close. So it's Shepard P7, Rybacek P8. Madrid is in P9. And then we've got Jack Mayer in P10. And P11 from Danny van der Niet. P12 from Matthew Clip, Juka Pekalalu in P13. I love to say that name, by the way.
Indeed, me too.
Yeah, Juka Pekalalu, yeah, that sounds like, yeah, just very, very awesome.
Close race further back as well, coming across the lane in a few seconds. This is Ivan Leonov ahead of James Early for P14, and Leonov is just about going to hold on to that one, so Early has to settle for P15.
Although... Oh, and to the line, Bell and Rietveld, and Bell gets P16, and Rietveld gets P17, and yeah, we now have got all finishers, because Mark Fuller finishes two laps behind.
Yeah, so Matteo Keersmakers was a lap down and finished P18. Mark Fuller was P19, followed by Kian White, Callum Roberts, Ron O'Meara, Thomas Andrea Marosoa, Giuseppe Saracino, Heigo Poom, Pedro Mora, Tom Parker, Danny Robbins, Johan Lindberg, and Ben Horrell, who all DNF'd, unfortunately. Anyway, that makes the battle for the championship lead very, very interesting, because there is 41 points now separating Schmidt and Williams, and that means that to keep the championship alive next time out at COTA, Williams is going to have a very tough time of it. He needs to score a whole 17 points more than Schmidt. That is going to be very, very tricky to do. That's effectively going to be Schmidt
a P1. Yeah, a P1 or a P2, and then Smith can score, so that will be very very interesting. Of course, Matthew Williams can win or get a second place in a race. That's not the thing. The thing is that I believe Lucas Smith didn't DNF one race, and yeah. I'm not sure if that will happen next time around.
Well,
but,
he hasn't DNF'd any races, but he has missed two. However, next time out, if he wins, if Matthew Williams wins, he needs Schmidt 8th or lower to keep the championship alive. And if he's second, he needs Smith to be 13th or lower to keep the championship alive. So it's going to... Schmidt, not Smith. So it's going to be tricky for Williams. He'll probably need something to happen to Lucas Schmidt. And that gives Lucas a very, very comfortable... buffer in this championship. Meanwhile, interviews are about to take place. I hope we get some interviews with the championship leader and the race winner and potentially a few other drivers as well. Let's start with the first driver to load into the interview channel, who is the championship leader, Lucas Schmidt. Hey there, Lucas.
I will let you do it.
So, sorry, Menno, did you say something there?
I said I will let you do a few interviews, and hopefully I can do some as well. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah, feel free to jump in afterwards. But anyway, so Lucas, you have a very, very comfortable championship buffer now, and all you have to do next time out is finish in the top 7 to claim the championship. Surely that feels good.
Yeah, of course. Especially after this race, because I had such a bad engine because we got like the wrong one when we weren't supposed to use anymore in the season because it was so old and low power. And yeah, I was so scared the whole race that it will blow up, and now all was fine and P2 is perfect.
Absolutely, and you did a fantastic job to hold that second position. It was a close race in the early stages with Gusby, you, and some other drivers on your tail as well. I believe you had about 3 other drivers on your tail early on. Was it a relatively tense race, especially in the early stages? And did you think you could maybe challenge Gusby?
Yeah, especially because I didn't have the top speed because of the engine. I just knew I had to be in DRS of Gosby to be able to defend from Hutchinson and Williams and stuff. So yeah, in the first stint I wasn't sure if I can challenge him, but then in the second stint he was so consistent, so quick. So yeah, I gave up and just saved the engine and yeah, brought P2 home.
And for next time out at COTA, what kind of things should we expect? Is it a tough track on tyre wear? And is it a track you go well at?
Our tyre wear, I have no idea because I haven't done laps yet. Generally really liked the track and did well there last year as an FSR. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you the best of luck and fantastic P2 finishing position today.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Next up, we are going to bring in our race winner, Martin Gosby. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Congratulations on your Superleague Lights victory. That's 2 in a row for you now. You're on a roll.
Yeah, it's a very nice race. I said it last time when I won in Singapore. I just wanted to get a good result for TR, considering how I started with a double DNF. So hopefully this is making up for it.
Well, certainly, back-to-back victories is as good a result as pretty much any team boss can hope for. And you held off the likes of Lucas Schmidt and other championship contenders as well. And I can't help but feel that if you'd made the whole series, you too would have been a championship contender. I was just wondering, what are your plans for next season, and are you expecting to go for a full campaign here?
For next season, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, my main series is in FSR World Championship with ACR. I mean, and if they enter into this series in Lights or Super League in general, I'll think about it for sure. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you did an utterly amazing job today. The early stages, it looked rather tense. You had a couple of cars on your tail. But as soon as the pit stop stages started taking place, you just started to build out this mega gap every single time. How did you do it?
I was quite lucky to, I think I had quite decent tyre wear. So I noticed that Lucas and Mark behind pitted. So that lap I had enough tyre wear to push as much as I could and put in, well, it's only like 2 tenths quicker than my fastest lap at a stint, but I must have missed some traffic or something because I got out in basically clear air.
You did indeed, and you went on to win the race by quite a margin in the end, setting your fastest lap on the final lap. You were really gunning for it there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was speaking with some others whether I should do a push lap at the end, but I thought I would probably crash it if I did, but just about.
Well, you managed it, you made it stick, and you won. So congrats on back-to-back victories, and good luck in future races.
Thank you very much.
So we move on now to Do we have our third place finisher? I actually can't remember who finished third. That's very bad of
Mr.
me to say.
Hutchinson, but he's not, I believe, not here, so I believe we will have Mr. Keersmakers, I believe.
Yeah, okay,
But-
let's have Lauren Keersmakers in. Hey there, Lauren.
Good evening.
Good evening, Lauren. So you finished 5th today. Are you pleased with that?
Actually, I'm very, very pleased. I think it must have been the best performance of the year so far. With the car lacking a little bit of pace, I really didn't expect it to end in 5th position. So yes, really happy.
That's fantastic to hear, and that does help your championship challenge, because of course you're 3rd place now, and only finished 1 place behind Williams. Looking at the championship standings, you've actually got quite a healthy buffer there in front of you and behind you, so in fact I think 3rd place is already sealed for you. Does that kind of take the pressure off you for the next 2 rounds slightly?
Yes, well, 3rd place was definitely my goal. So when I saw that Hutchinson has finished 3rd today, then I don't lose too many points compared to him. I actually don't know what is the gap currently.
It's unassailable. You are confirmed 3rd.
Yeah. Okay. So the final results are already there.
I believe so, unless I've calculated wrong. But yeah, I believe that you are confirmed 3rd.
Okay, perfect. Because this was really the goal of the season. Because some very fast people came in, like Martin Gosby, Hutchinson, who joined, and then also the car starting to lack some pace in the second half of the season. So, well, then I'm really happy to have sealed this 3rd position then, considering the situation.
Menno, you sounded like you wanted to say something there.
Yeah, I believe he nearly sealed it. I believe if Mark wins both races, then I think, and Lauren doesn't score points, then he could still get him. But
No, it's sealed by my calculations,
yeah,
but
well,
I may be wrong.
yeah. If you look at the points, it's still possible. But yeah, it's not a. Yeah, I don't
Anyway.
think we will see a change. By the way, so yeah, I think really good. Well done for Lawrence at least this
Anyway.
race as well.
Thanks for jumping in, Lauren, and we will move on to some other people. I believe next in the broadcast room. Who do you want to bring in? You take your pick, Menno.
Let's see. Well, we've also always got nice talking with Mike Bell. So yeah, I believe he got P16. So I want to hear him and his race actually.
All right, okay. Let's bring in Mike Bell for a quick chat. Although I'm afraid we're gonna have to rush a little bit because we've got a couple of people to get through here. Hey there, Mike.
Yeah.
Hi.
That looks rather enjoyable there, despite the fact I'm afraid no points for you today. But you were having some decent scraps the entire way through there.
Yeah, most of it was in that first stint, and I think that completely ruined my shot at points. I stayed out about 3 laps too long on the first set of tyres and then just dropped back. Switched to a 1-stop and then switched back. And I think every strategy call I made that race made my race worse, so yeah. I need someone else to think my strategy through for me. But yeah, came down to it at the end. A few more laps and I reckon I could have maybe caught up and fought for points, but you know, it goes like that sometimes.
Well, you made that spectacular move on the final corner anyway, so I suppose that makes up for some of it. Anyway, thanks for coming in for a quick chat, Mike, and good luck in your future races.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, we've been told to get a move on and close the stream. So I'm afraid we're not going to be able to interview the other drivers who are waiting. Really sorry to anyone who did not get an interview there. But thank you very much to Menno Klunt for helping me through this broadcast. It was a very late last minute deal, and Menno, you came to the rescue like a knight in shining armor. So thank you very much for that. And
Very shining armor.
I also have to take some of the credit because I did stream this, and I wasn't expecting to until about 10 minutes before the broadcast, so I'm quite proud of myself, to be honest, despite the fact I know it wasn't the highest quality broadcast, and I apologise for that, but we did the best that we could.
Yeah, better a broadcast than no broadcast, and at least we showed a good battle. So it was for us, last minute decide if we want to do it, and I personally did no commentary. I think for the last 6 months. So yeah, then you need to just grow in a broadcast if you know what I mean. But I think overall it was a pretty good and a lot of fun. In 2 weeks, the Superleague Lights will be back from Austin, Texas, so it will be very interesting to see that. And next week, next Wednesday, we are there with the Formula Challenge, also in Austin, Texas. So we're going to Texas, so very interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, and make sure you join us tomorrow as well for the WTF1 Super League Championship, the main event. Thank you all for watching this one here from Suzuka, Superleague Lights, round 15 of 17, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time. See you then!
Bye-bye!